jumping ahead to Unreal 5.5. Wildflyer babies pretty close. And could Lost Colony become a hardcore experience? You're right, kids, it's Raasclark, and welcome to your regular ARK community news. Before we begin, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, share, around, and let's get into it. So off the back of the react video we did to the announcement of Lost Colony, where yes, a new map is being revealed to us, it's coming out next year in 2025. My guess is going to be around summertime, or maybe even announced in summertime during their 10th anniversary. Well, Big Dog Jeremy retweeted it saying this is going to be good. And you think that's all it was, but whoa there, that's not all that it was, because in this post, Jeremy, as being active on the Twitter sphere, or X sphere, whatever you want to call it, sphere, people started asking questions. This normally happens when Jeremy's about. Watch out, he's about. You can ask Jeremy questions and see if he replies. I tried to say something, didn't get much of a reply, but it's okay. I questioned enough in the extra live stream, but Scuzzy came out asking a question. Can you comment on the fact we can't install or uninstall maps from our games anymore? And, you know, eventually it's going to be way over 200 gig. What's going on? It is a bit of an issue right now. If you try to install ARK, you're going to get all of the maps that comes with it. In a couple of maps time, you're going to have no space for nothing else. In fact, it's already getting there pretty much already. Jeremy responded, don't worry, Scuzzy, indeed. The plan is to refactor all the maps except the island into optional free DLCs early next year by the delivery of Ragnarok, which, as we know, is touted for March. Don't forget, our Bison's coming along with that one as well. And they didn't get to it this year. It seems like they plan to do so, but the intent is to deliver that upon the UE 5.5 upgrade, in brackets, jumping straight to 5.5. Well, we did call this, we did speculate this once upon a time when the Unreal Engine 5.5 got announced. Lest we forget, dialing back a while back, it was last briefed to us in October that 5.4 has been pushed back. The upgrade that's going to improve some stability and certainly offer a bunch of different features for mod developers out there as well. That we'll be getting this in Q1 2025. Took me a hot minute to find the original post. I swear there was one even older than this, but it was explained that this 5.4 upgrade is going to make an approximate 20% overall performance boost on all platforms for memory management, reducing hitching and stalling, and more forward-looking graphics improvements such as better longer range looming as in lighting results. But yeah, then Unreal 5.5 came out and it did leave me wondering, are we going to see a pushback as a result of 5.5? Is it pushing back the original planned Q1 2025 5.4 update? Or is this easy enough to integrate with the features this is involving, such as in-editor animation and rigging, which looks pretty swoosh, by the way. A new audio-driven metahuman animator, new animation in gameplay, crisp-looking swooshy rendering, and virtual production coming at you. Hold tight. Though that doesn't really affect ARK too much, or does it? But to be honest, it's leaving me wondering, when is 5.6 going to arrive, and then is that going to push back the update ever more? A lot of people out there are eager awaiting this update, hoping that it's going to completely transform stability for ARK. I think it's worth keeping a bit of a grounded experience with that. Yes, there's definitely some stability improvements, seemingly looking at this 20% improvement on top, but I don't think it's going to be the all singing, all dancing miracle that's going to allow everybody and anybody to play ARK no matter what platform you're on. However, it is definitely overdue, and apparently we've just got to wait until the cake is on the way, coming to a bakery near us. And in question time with Jeremy, NanoStel, who we work closely with in explaining what we expected the next story map to be after Extinction, which now seems to be right bang on the money, got in a bit of a deep dive with Jeremy over lore inconsistencies that Jeremy himself offered NanoStel to really dig deep and uncover all of these issues, all of these hard inconsistencies as opposed to soft inconsistencies that they can chalk up to difference in universe sources of information, and even get game credits when they release those corrections. How cool is that? And NanoStel didn't let up, good grief. Absolutely washed my eyes with monologues and paragraphs of text upon text of things that need to be resolved. Wildcard sorted out. Law is not perfect. Get it fixed, son. And there is, I mean, to be fair, I had a good read through these and I really enjoyed what Unosal covered here. Delving deep into story progression issues with Aberration, specifically looking at the grad student notes. But one point that definitely got me thinking, and I know a lot of you out there are thinking the same too, the ability to respawn. In the lore, it's fully explained why your characters respawn when you die on each arc, but upon the ending of Extinction, the Reseed protocol releases the ability to do so. And whilst there's some ambiguous understanding explanation of Gem 1 and 2 and how you respawn on those maps, okay, Gem 1's okay because it's a simulation, but Gen 2's a bit of an issue. But hey, Helena Deus was the one who figured out how to respawn survivors, so we're all good. But hey, we were basically part of the same archive of genetics and memory engrams. But either way, Lost Colony, which is set on the Earth after the Reseed protocol, and therefore means you are a person that when you die, it's game over for you. How is Wildcard going to approach that? Are they going to say no? Forget the law, it doesn't matter, man. Like, listen, like, it's a game, you respawn. Which, you know, most of you out there aren't going to be too fussed about. But law nerds are law nerds, and they will tell you what for. They will say, oi, Wildcard, you dig deep in the lore, sort it out. Forget these inconsistencies. How do I respawn without the Reseed protocol? Which gives us one of two options here. Either there's some new fandangled crazy way to respawn. I'm sure Wildcard have already considered what that's going to be. Or two, it's actually going to be a hardcore one life experience. Now consider that for a second. Hardcore is the thing a lot of players out there enjoy. They enjoy that type of experience. If you die, it's game over, reset, back to one, back to level 1 bub, and off you pop. But many of you out there would shiver at the thought of having to reset everything, lose all of your progress, and start at day 1. But Jeremy did say that he wants a new environment that hunts you. He wants a new refreshing experience for us to delve into. Is it too much of a stretch to maybe consider there will be a hardcore offering with this new map, a punishing style of play that really does set you back if you die in Lost Colony? My speculation is death won't come in the natural format. You'll actually be frozen like something out of Demolition Man into a cryostasis sort of submission where you can only re-emerge from that by melting like the Terminator 2 villain into pools of mercury and then recongeal yourself into a survivor back on this map. Food for thought anyway. They need to be delivering to the lore nerds on how exactly you respawn when you can't actually respawn anymore like you could in other arcs, though you can in Gen 1 and 2 and it was never really fully explained there, so maybe they'll just go, yeah, you can respawn, what you going to do about it? I don't know. And then seeing that we're playing the question time round, Mr. Jat, Big Dog Jack, came out to answer some questions as well in response to GP that was talking about no wildfire babies. And, you know, we all saw the trailer. We all saw the snow owls and the snow owl wildfire babies. And we all went, come on, man. We know what's coming on here. We all knew what was coming, right? We saw the trailer and we said, look, why are you doing this? You know what we're going to say. You know how we're going to react. I said all this during the reaction of the trailer, that in seeing that, I would expect wildfire babies. But then again, Wildcard would know I was going to react that way. And all you out there would react that way. But it turns out, no, still not a thing. Despite Jeremy and Jesse talking to us in depth about wildfire babies coming to ARK at some point, hopefully in the new year. Well, Jat backed it up with a tweet explaining to us that they actually have a version of wildfire babies that's really close to release and it just needs a little bit more time in the oven, but they're hopeful they'll find the resources to finish it off to release next year. Bit of a diversion from the original quote of pretty close. There's like big gaps between pretty close and next year. Those are two very separate entities. But hey, they have more edge cases that they need to resolve versus non-flyers at the moment. Too true a word said from that Mr. Jat. Because there's a hierarchy of importance when it comes to ARK. Because there is a lot of things that Wildcard are trying to get ahead of themselves. That first thing being Unreal 5.5 now. And whilst TLC QOL updates are a great thing for you and me, do they actually provide an extended cash flow when it comes to ARK Ascended? I vote yes, because there's still a lot of players still out there playing ASE, the ever going on argument that I seem to be involved with more often than not. And people say, why don't you go and play ASE? That's the better version. But if you bring more things to ASA, is that enough to pull people over. I think it is. I truly do. I see more and more people saying, oh, I wish they brought that new creature to ASE. But they're not going to do that. It's all about ASA now. And I guess as more content comes, then there's going to be more incentive for people to come over. Wildflyer babies could be the perfect thing to do so, right? Content isn't everything. However, you can't deny that Wildcard are pumping out a lot of it. And it's great to see with what they've achieved with the last part of Bob's DLC. And it's wonder what they're going to do in the new year. And hopefully we'll see some more of that with Ragnarok in March. Though I don't know if we're going to see it in March, maybe a little bit later than that. But we'll see. Until the next one, my name is Raasclark. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And as always, peace out.